Welcome to Lesson 2. Today we'll bring another image into our program and create a function to make that image go anywhere we touch the screen. So first, download the star image on the Lesson 2 page below the video and put it into a new folder called Lesson 2 Project. Now launch Allah and delete the Lesson 1 project under My Projects. We'll go up to Project on the menu bar and choose Delete Project. You'll get a confirmation screen and you can just click Yes. Now we'll start a new project and find our base folder, Lesson 2 Project. Before we get to creating our function, we'll retype the code from the first lesson, but using the star image instead of the moon. It's important to type the code rather than copy and paste. You'll learn much better this way. So first, we bring our image in with display.newImage, and the name of our file, star.ping, in round brackets using quote marks. Now to use that image, we'll assign it a variable, star. Let's give star a starting location with star.x equals 100 and star.y equals 200. Now let's save the file and launch the simulator. And there it is. Let's get rid of the status bar across the top. We'll type display.setStatusBar, round bracket, display.hiddenStatusBar, close bracket. If we run the simulator again, the status bar is gone. Now we're ready to make our function. We want our moon to move wherever we touch the screen. A screen touch is actually a kind of event, meaning it's something that happens. So we need to add something called an event listener. It just sits in the background waiting for an event to happen. Then it'll do whatever you tell it to. Our event listener looks like this. Add event listener. Then in round brackets, we add the word touch using quote marks again. This indicates what kind of event to listen for. Now we need to tell what to do when a touch event happens. So we'll create a function that describes what we want, and we'll call this function starMove. Let's add starMove inside the round brackets after touch. We don't use quote marks for starMove because it's a variable. So now when a touch happens, the event listener will start a function called starMove. But this statement isn't done yet. We need to tell the event listener where to listen for the touch. For example, we could tell it to only wait for a touch on one of our images, but we don't want that. We want to touch an open space where we want the moon to move to, so basically anywhere on the screen. So we add the word runtime right at the front of the statement. This tells the event listener to listen for an event anywhere on the screen. If we wanted to only listen for a touch on the object, we'd put the name of the object here instead. We've told the program to wait for a touch event, and when that touch event happens, to go ahead and start the function we called starMove. But we haven't told the program what starMove means. The program has no idea, and the thing about computers is that you have to tell them every single thing. So now we'll tell the program what starMove means by creating the function starMove with a little block of code. So first we write function, then the name that we're giving to that function, starMove. In round brackets, we're going to put the word event because touching the screen is an event. And anytime we create a new function, we have to put the word end after it to let the program know that it's the end of the function. But we still haven't told the program what that function called starMove is supposed to do. In this case, inside our function, we're going to put another function from the Corona library called transition.to. It's indented here so we can clearly see that it's inside the function. Transition means change. So when the event happens, we want our object to transition to another location. It gets a little tricky here. After transition.to, we put round brackets, and the first thing inside the brackets is the name of our object that we want to move, star. Then, after star, we're going to add another set of brackets, but these are curly ones, also called braces. So yes, we've got a Corona function inside our function, and curly brackets inside round brackets. Now inside the curly brackets, the first thing we put is time. This tells the object how fast to move to the new location. In programming, time is measured in milliseconds, or 1,000th of a second. So if we want something to take 1 second, we write 1,000 milliseconds. Now we need to tell the function where we want the moon image to go. And remember, whenever we're talking about direction or location, we're really talking about x and y numbers. For the x direction, let's try putting in x equals 80. And for the y direction, let's put in y equals 100. But before we run the simulator, there's one tiny thing we need to do. We need to move this block of code that created our function, starMove, and put it above the event listener. So let's cut this chunk of code here and paste it up there. The reason we do this is that we need to tell the program what a function is or does before we tell it to do that function. Now let's save and run the simulator again. Since we can't actually use our fingers to touch the simulator, we'll just click with the mouse to pretend that we're touching the screen. So we click. But the star doesn't actually go where we clicked. It went to the x location 80 and the y location 100. What we really want the star to do is go wherever we touch the screen. But how do we explain that to the program? We do it by first looking at the x and y location of the touch, or the click in our case, and then we capture that x and y information. To capture the x location, we use event.x. And for the y direction, we use event.y. Then we add these to our function like this. X equals event.x, and y equals event.y. Now we're done with typing all of our code. So let's save and run the simulator. Now we can click anywhere on the screen, and the star will go wherever we click. It follows the touch events. That's it for now. In the next lesson, we'll learn how to make something move by itself.